Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Wafanya kazi yote tujiunge pamoja. Wafanya kazi yote tujiunge pamoja. Wafanya kazi yote tujiunge pamoja. Tujitenge hata haya tujiunge haya yote yuge haya tujiunge tujitenge hata.
First of all, I'm not going to be re-elected as General Secretary because I'm handing over to another person to be the General Secretary of the Union. I will, however, remain with the Union at the epitome of the Union on the trustee board. NEC resolved yesterday that I shall become the chairman and chief technical advisor, chairman of the board of trustees, which will be in charge of structural development of the union, in charge of the strategy, act as the business arm of the organization. That is not a day-to-day running of the organization. The role of a general secretary is the day-to-day activities, which I have done for 20 years. And I've pushed this union from its lowest ebb because I took over the leadership during that time of structured adjustment program, when there was hardly any membership. In fact, I took over a membership of 297. And by the time before COVID, I had gone to 54,000 members in the union. So if it is working for the union, I bet no leader, no general secretary has done the job I've done in this country. And I think it will be very difficult for any general secretary to step in my feet. To sign, I've signed over 300 collective bargaining agreements. No general secretary has done that in this country. So I've worked my all to ensure that I uplift the rights of workers. So we've recruited membership. We have put membership into the union ranks. We've negotiated collective agreements. We have handled grievances with the employers. We have represented workers. I have represented workers at almost every front, locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. And that representation has been one of the most important factors to the workers, that I speak with authority. And I've stamped authority in this organization because of those other international appointments. For example, I'm Africa's World Worker Expert on decent work and socially responsible tourism. Here, non-compliance of employers, we've taken a number of them to courts of law. And we have never been defeated by any employer in the courts of law. We always win those cases. And they end up signing the recognition agreements. After signing recognition agreements, we become good friends. It's because most of these employers don't understand industrial relations. That's why they brush off the union. But once the union is in the organization, you realize that it is doing 50% of the human resource function to stabilize work to organize the workforce and make sure that the industrial peace exists.
And I don't want to heap praises on our union, but there are things that we do first. If you take an example, there is no union in Uganda that negotiated a CBA during that time, the increase in salary, especially in the hospitality or tourism sector. We did that. There is no union which could secure a recognition agreement with an employer during the period of COVID-19. We did that. So whether it is a plus or negative, the public can tell. However, despite all these efforts, we have employers who continue not to appreciate the importance of the people that they work, and their duty is to continue exploiting these workers. Such employers are the Jazz supermarket in Bugolobi, and the same Muyindi also owns another supermarket on Kabalagala Road, Embassy Supermarket, where he's just extorting the efforts of workers and exploiting them, working for 12 hours, the younger girls and boys standing for 12 or even 14 hours without paying them overtime. They don't take off, say, every week, and they are there suffering. When we go there, he's also telling us that he has gone to court because we are disturbing his businesses. But we shall continuously take on him until he does the right thing in accordance with the legal framework of Uganda. This other issue of, it's not only Jazz and the Embassy Supermarket, there are many employers. Some of them hide behind the political giants. When you go and attack them, and not attack, when you go and approach them to negotiate this collective agreement, they hurriedly tell, we cannot negotiate, you can't report whether you go to State House, because they have political backing. And that has been a disturbing matter. Over the times, there are people, they only talk about State House, and they don't want to recognize. Such employers are mainly in Mbarara. Even where we have agreements, they don't want to implement. But we are going to engage more and more with the government to ensure that we liberate these workers, because irrespective of where you work, the rights are the same in the face of the law. Though some people think they are over and above the laws of the land, that could be something that is not going to be sustainable over the time. That is what I can promise and say about these rights of these workers.
There are particular employers, some of them who actually have come here. They are doing a lot of work, and they don't want now the workers to enjoy the benefits that they have created. Particularly, there is a supermarket called Jazz. They, instead of recognizing the union, the workers, they are now running report. But I'm happy we have instructed our lawyer to take them on. And we as the center, we are also going to take them on, because we are not going to allow any employer to violate our laws in this country. This country has a very wonderful laws, but the biggest problem, the people who don't comply, the people who think that they will violate these laws and mistreat workers and even deny them their rights to association, is wrong. Once a member of the union, member of workers, join and declare that they have joined the union, it's their right. It's their right, and nobody should stop them. For this Jeze supermarket in Bugolobi, first of all, our lawyer is going to reply. They have reported themselves to court of law because they have violated the laws of Uganda. And secondly, we are asking the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development to summon them. And when they summon them, they should follow the law. And also, if they are still dilly-dally, we as a center, we are going to take another angle and we'll take action against them. But I want to thank Wildlife Authority and other organizations like Sheraton and so on, who have allowed negotiations. What we are trying to promote is industrial relations, industrial peace. We want to have a common understanding where our workers in Uganda have decent work. And that one, we are not going to romance with anybody. They have given us jobs, we thank them, and we are going to protect all those people who are actually complying to industrial relations. But those who don't, time is over. We need now to work together and ensure that there's industrial.
Chairman, because chairman is in charge of NEC, but I've been in charge of the secretariat, I want to thank you for the opportunity this to have led this union for 20 years. I believe again that as the longest serving general secretary, I've done what it takes to lift this union from its ebb to the apex. And as the NEC is being dissolved, but because I have already said that I will not stand, even though it is dissolved, I'm not going to be part of the National Executive Council. I want to take this opportunity to thank the government, thank Chairman General for being here from morning to now, to see what happens in Hotels Union, and for really to judge how we have developed, and to guide other unions to do what we have done. I thank you once again, and may God bless you. Chairman.
Thank you so much, outgoing General Secretary. Thank you so much, our Landy guest, chief of the guest of honor, dear delegates. I take this opportunity as I stand before you here for my last time and my entire team by saying thank you so much for having empowered us, trusted us to steer, to lead this union for the period that we have been in the lead. I will not talk much about how we have performed, but I believe what we have done, the entire team here before you, it's there and it talks by itself. If you don't know, Whisper to neighbor will tell you the joy that have been realized. But I can mention just one of them. The time you gave us this mandate, this union did not have what we call a home. But it was through the wisdom, the efforts of the entire team here that as we language this power, the road that we try to steer. Today, our union has a home. Thank you so much for giving us that trust. If I'm not performing to expectation, please, you'll forgive us, because no man's an angel. But me and my entire team, I believe, we are performing. On that note, I'll say thank you for being there for us. We are going for the next elections. And on that note, maybe it's the minister to dissolve the committee. Otherwise, I hand over the microphone to another president.
Thank you. So members, can we put our hands? Maybe you even stand, because you have been sitting for long. Maybe the jaws are now. You have a better way of thanking than the one I know. So who is leading the thanking?
Asante sana. Yongeza tena. Yaisho tena.
Thank you very much. Now, by the powers entrusted to me, I hereby dissolve the NEC, and this now gives us the way to go to the next elections. Thank you very much.
I put to the vote. May those in favor of MUZAALE Patrick continuing being chairman put up your green cards, and those against put red. The Greens have it. May those in favor of Alex Mwanguzi being the vice chairperson, put up your green cards, and those against put red. The Greens have it. May those in favor of Moses being the general secretary put up your green cards. And those against red. May those in favor of Carol Bekeka being the deputy general secretary put up your green cards. May those in favor of Elijah continuing being the general treasurer put up your green cards. Those against put red. And may those in favor of Christian Jalia being the deputy treasurer. Commissioner and Chairman General, Congress has approved so far 10, and can the chairperson of the women, youth, and their secretaries run here? Run here. We don't have time. Look what happened. Hierarchy. Women first, youth there. Chairperson, secretary. Chairperson, secretary. Commissioner and registrar of labor unions. That is the most top executive members of national organization called Uganda Hotels, Food, Tourism and Allied Workers Union. May the trustees, the ones who have approved, come here quickly and running. Janet, we may disqualify you. Okay. That means, Commissioner, that from the chairman board of trustees up to here, with others that we shall add in, are going at the apex body of board of trustees, and we shall act as the chief technical advisory body to the National Executive Council, with stipulated roles of infrastructure development, of policy and strategy, of annuities, of being the business arm of the union. And these 10 are the top executive of the union. Now, remain there and I make some more recommendations of NEC. The Constitution provides that we shall have 8 direct council members. And NEC proposed, because of the size of speaking group of hotels. So you can imagine how big the national executive is. Core team, supported by the 8 direct council members, supported by the sector or regional or industry, segregated, and the secretariat. And now the executive board and the board of trustees. People who have worked for this union for more. One of the criteria, you must have worked for this union not less than 20 years. If you have not been a member for more than 20 years, you can't go on the trustee board. So you must be an elder. Anybody below 40, you don't. It must be those people who are tired of things, but just ready to serve. They have eaten everything in the world, they don't want more. I now put to Congress, those in favor of the 8 direct council member, put up your green cards, and those against the bill. The Greens have it. Those in favor of the sectoral, industrial, or regional council members, put up your green cards and the contrary the bill. For the secretariat, they are not voted. They are adopted, and these are your officers at the union who make things happen. We are going to the commissioner and the registrar of labor unions for being around while we are doing this election. I want to hand over to you, sir, for your final comments, and then we make administrative remarks. Thank you, Congress.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable, for taking us through this process.
Sure.
I really don't have much words. I just to commend the delegates for successfully going through this process. I therefore declare the team before you the new leaders of the union with effect from today for the next 5 years. And what I want to leave with the new leadership is that you are taking over at a time when we have a lot of issues which you have just had before. So you need to put on the energy you have for the sake of these people who are before you and the members who have sent them here. We need to do a lot of work to improve on the density of the union, of course, and also to make the people we represent feel that we are there for them by entering into good agreements and understanding, including addressing all the issues which have been here related to workers' issues.
Thank you.